way we call, must be the norm than the exception in all our future educational endeavors. I want to inform you that the PGIA branch in Colombo has also been even more successful than the classes going on at the PGIA here. That, of course, shows us that we can harness far more prospective students living in remote areas who have real practical time constraints, employment restrictions, and logistic issues for physically attending on-ground classes at Peradeniya. Your Excellency, we are getting requests now from international student community as well, especially including the SAARC region such as Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Maldives Islands, and even African countries such as Ghana, for master's degree programs to be offered online. With the future collaborations with you, we even may be able to explore the uncharted arenas of student and academic community in the European Union and hopefully the Eastern Europe as well. Deans, looking back for the past year, we are now pleased that the management of PGIA was able to support the faculty with infrastructure development and strengthening the research capacity of the faculty, at least in a minor scale. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have a quick look at this little video that I have planned to show you on the infrastructure development that we have planned under this COVID crisis. During these last few years, we got little green light from the government for capital development. Yet that did not prevent us from planning for the much needed infrastructure development. After all the need assessment we have done, the BOQs have been prepared for the rehabilitation of this main building that we are here today and the new building out there. This is designed with the help of the Engineering Design Center and the qualified architects. And we have already obtained the Land and Buildings Maintenance Committee approval for this new building rehabilitations, and the contracts are being awarded now. What you are seeing is the canteen area that will come up as a 3-story building, which is going to be in par with this main building complex. The bottom layer will be the canteen, and the top layer that you are seeing right now will be the student lobby area and the rest area for the teachers and the visiting staff. This is our new building area on the other side of the road. The rooftop has been like empty right now, but we are going to have these solar panels established that will cover within 6 years all the cost of electricity, and we will be able to supply to the national grid as well. With this rooftop, there will be this elevator going up to the 5th floor, and that would be a really nice place for all the university staff and other outsiders to come and join and have their gatherings and official meetings as well. So you can see the ever-changing economic policies, the government circulars that we are getting every day. But even the COVID crisis have not been able to stop us from pursuing our common goals. Ladies and gentlemen, although the universities were closed since March, the organizing committee of Congress was very vigilant, and they have been carrying out their publicity, manuscript review, acceptance process, adapting to ever-changing situations. Even with this second wave that we are experiencing right now, they were not sure of the mode of delivery or whether even to stage the event at all. However, the sober and the mature mindset of this year's coordinator made a huge difference in handling the ever-changing scenarios so smoothly. He was so calm, so respectful, and attentive to all parties' views and all aspects of the issues in making complex decisions. I was so fortunate to have a cool person like Professor Dharmakirti at the helm of organizing this year's Congress during this crisis situation, who made collective decisions and dynamic decisions, making very cordial, very effective, that every meeting that I had with him left me with a sense of accomplishment. For me, it is so much heartwarming to see all these highly esteemed colleagues of mine coming to the Congress office day in and day out and giving their voluntary contributions and having fun as well, in spite of all these loads of their official responsibilities and family commitments that we already know very well. So I would like to thank all of them, all of those who are involved in making this year's Congress a virtual success, including the organizing committee, the resource persons of the 4 free Congress workshops that we held, all invited dignitaries, academics, research collaborators, and student participants, all the PGIA staff who have been transforming these lecture rooms into this level, the university staff, including the CMO, who helped us stage this year's Congress successfully under very demanding and strenuous circumstances. I actually apologize for not being able to invite you all on ground due to these stage 3 health restrictions that we are facing today. All our students who are listening online, who are selected for making presentations, congratulations to all of you and your co-authors, and hope that you will win the best presentation awards at the closing ceremony this afternoon that we will face, making this event a memorable one for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish this year's Congress a great platform for safe and fruitful scientific endeavor. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, during my tenure as the Director PGIA, I was actually blessed with the support of the Vice Chancellor and our Deputy Vice Chancellor who are present here today. They have always been there for all our invited ceremonies, including the student orientations, PGIA Day, and all the past congresses. During this critical period that we are facing with respect to transition into this Sri Lankan qualification framework guidelines, the institutional reviews, the program reviews, in the middle of this global pandemic, they have given all their honest blessings the best way they can to support within the policy regulation framework. Ladies and gentlemen, let's join our hands in inviting Professor Pulbi Disanayake, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
His Excellency the Ambassador, delegation of European Union to Sri Lanka and Maldives, Mr. Denis Cherby, Director of the Postgraduate Institute of Agriculture, Dean of the Faculty, Congress Coordinator, and PASA President, Deputy Vice Chancellor, all other deans, Registrar Bursa, and the presenters and keynote speakers, and all other ladies and gentlemen. First of all, as the Vice Chancellor, I would like to officially welcome His Excellency the Ambassador to the University of Peradeniya. Thank you very much for being with us today with all these difficulties of COVID-19. Irrespective, as we had a doubt whether you are going to participate or not, but really happy that you are with us. It's an encouragement for all of us. At the same time, I must congratulate the people who are going to make their findings present to this very valuable forum today, and innovative findings. You will be able to discuss all these things in even though it is via online, still it's a happy thing to see all of you are making very innovative presentations today. PGIA 32nd Annual Congress, of course, now I don't want to say that all these speakers mentioned, that is one of the premier institutes the only premier institute in Sri Lanka which offers postgraduate qualifications in agriculture. And there is no any other institute to compare. At the same time, as director correctly said, there are about 62 programs which are designed according to the needs and demands of the, not only in the Sri Lanka, demands and needs of the world. Therefore, as we discussed in the morning with His Excellency, Sir, as you notice, our input of postgraduate students from other countries are not satisfactory, not enough. That was highlighted by you. Of course, I want to propose in this very important occasion, we will get together and try to open, our doors are open, but to get the due to publicize these programs in your European Union countries. At the same time, recognize these programs in your countries. I have no mechanism to propose, but still we can get together and discuss a mechanism where team of experts can come and peruse our programs and recognize them. And once that recognition is there, you can openly advertise those programs in your countries where we will be able to get more and more foreign students. I think during your tenure in Sri Lanka, I request you to get engaged with this activity from our side. We will support you and help you, and we will together work to achieve this objective. And of course, as we are all aware, we are very closely working with European Union, and you would have heard these names: Erasmus Mundus, Erasmus Plus, Erasmus, and then now a new one is Horizons 2020. With all these programs, we are working very closely with EU, and I must take this opportunity to thank all the support, assistance, and help given to our university from your side. At the same time, we have got engaged in research, postgraduate training, capacity building, and credit mobility programs so far very successfully. But as all of us are aware, there are a few issues regarding this signing MOUs and transferring money and so on and so forth. We all have attended already to these issues, but still we haven't found a good solution. Even yesterday, I had a discussion with Brussels, where one of our projects, we have not signed our MOU yet, and they have given us kindly another deadline until January. Likewise, we are working very closely. I hope during your tenure in Sri Lanka also we can work together for the betterment of the university as well as our country. So that is the main proposal I want to present here in the presence of you, sir. I feel the director and as the vice chancellor and the dean, we will get together and devise a program for this purpose. Having said that, again, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate those postgraduate students who are going to present very exciting and innovative presentations today. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for helping us to stage this event without postponing any further during this uncertain future. The next presentation is from our chief guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we have a special person as the chief guest of the Congress. Please allow me to read the citation. Denis Chaibi is the current EU ambassador to Sri Lanka and Maldives. He started his career in the Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs during the Belgian presidency of the European Union in 1993 and went on to the embassy in Madrid, Spain. He then moved to the European Union, where he spent a number of years working on trade issues. He's actually an academic as well, and specializing on China and in high-profile investigations involving the US, Japan, and other trade giants. His next assignment was the deputy head of the EU delegation in Nicosia, during the EU-Cyprus accession negotiations and the Annan Plan put forward by the UN to solve the Cyprus problem. In 2004, he was appointed as the Assistant European Correspondent, focusing on the European Commission's input in the EU's common foreign and security policy, covering Middle East and Asia. He continued his work on Asia by focusing on India and organizing 4 EU-India summits. He became the diplomatic advisor and member of the cabinet of the Commissioner Ms. Georgieva in 2010, dealing with humanitarian assistance and crisis response. This was followed by a stint at the EU delegation in Washington before coming back to work for Ms. Georgieva, who is in the meantime had become the Vice President of the European Commission. As the senior member and Deputy Chief of Staff, he covered budgetary and human resources issues. Denis Chaibi came back to wider Middle Eastern issues by organizing the first Brussels conference on Syria in 2017 and becoming shortly afterwards the head of the task force Iran in the EU, in charge of coordinating the work of the international community regarding the implementation of the nuclear deal with Iran. In parallel to the administrative career, this is the part that I like most, Denis Chaibi continued to teach and write. In addition to the courses given at Brussels Free University, Boston University, and Cyprus institutions, he took a sabbatical to teach at the Yale University, which is kind of a tough thing to do. Denis Chaibi has degrees in law, in political science, European studies, international law, and a postgraduate degree, LLM, from Cambridge University. His Excellency, it's a great pleasure to have you on ground under these circumstances where the Colombo is locked down, and it's a great pleasure to have you, and over to you, sir.
Dear guest, Professor Disanayake, Vice Chancellor, Professor Pushmakumara, Dean of Agriculture, Professor Dimatawewa, Director of the PGIA, Professor Damakati, Coordinator of this Congress, other distinguished faculty and staff, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For my first official visit to Kandy as EU ambassador, it is obviously a great honor to address the 32nd Annual Congress of the PGIA. It is an honor that I particularly appreciate because it combines the Kandyan element, and for a diplomat to come to a city that spanned an empire of more than 3 centuries, where most of the kingdoms in Europe or elsewhere are less than 2 centuries, is something fascinating. For a diplomat to be here, to see how diplomacy, but also strength, manage to span such an empire is fascinating. But more to the point, and as it has been mentioned, I appreciate the honor to address the most prestigious university in Sri Lanka, the oldest one, the greenest one, the one that has the highest ranking in the Times Higher Education ranking, and it is the highest that any Sri Lankan university has ever reached. I'm not so fond of all these rankings, but it is something that we have to take into account. And above all, your university is regarded as one of the most beautiful in the world. And I know that there are 7 wonders, but I've just seen the Akbar Bridge, but I'm looking forward to discover the 7 other wonders, the 6 other wonders of the university. And universities, academics, research are particularly dear to the European Union. First, I hope we have some legitimacy in claiming the merit of having recognized first the need to institutionalize the passing of knowledge to new generations. So the creation of universities originated in Europe. And we recognized very early on the importance for society at large. And second and more recent, Europeans invested heavily in their higher education system in the 20th century, which is basically accessible. Most of the population can find a university, and free. And this characteristic of accessibility and free has become one of the best instruments Europe has to encourage prosperity with equality. We had a discussion a bit beforehand about the difficulty when societies get richer to combine prosperity with equality. And I think that European universities are very aware of that and trying to work. And it also offers the possibility of all components of the population to take part in social change. And in this regard, I know that now in the University of Peradeniya, there are more women than men students. And we in Europe believe that this is a great factor of progress. Our president of the European Commission is a woman. The person I worked for before coming here, Mrs. Georgieva, she's the executive director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. So I'm working for women, and they are great leaders. So the fact that there are so many women students in Peradeniya, I think is a very, very good thing for Sri Lanka. But beyond the value of university, I'd like to come to agriculture, the sector where PGIA has developed the expertise. It's very interesting for the EU because agriculture is one of the cornerstones of the long-standing partnership between EU and Sri Lanka. As a steadfast partner of Sri Lanka, the EU has invested more than €1 billion over the last 25 years in Sri Lanka. So according to today's exchange rate, we are close to 218 billion rupees. And our core objective has been to reduce poverty, foster sustainable development, and to promote a peaceful and inclusive society. And for all these three objectives, integrated rural development has been one of the most promising avenues. So we funded this heavily, and what is very important, we fund it only through grants, no loans. It's not tied with certain conditions, there's no reimbursement. It has been grants. And this is a very important factor because I know that seen from Sri Lanka, sometimes donors appear as having ulterior objectives, hidden agendas, transformation in their interest. I can tell you that in the EU, it has been a very, very transparent agenda. It has been focused on agricultural rural development, and it has been done through grants and no loan. And in this